Hey everybody, this is Politics with Avi. Today's 23rd episode is devoted on the topic of national policy as a means of resolving intra and interethnic contradictions. So, the following main areas of conflict situations in a multinational state are distinguished as being one, relations between central authorities and republics, that is, land, states, cantons, etc. Two, relations between union republic states. Three, relations within the union republics between autonomous entities. Four, problems of national groups in republic states, as well as nationalities that do not have their own national state formations. And five. The problems of divided peoples. All of them are derivatives of the main contradiction caused by the existence of two trends in the development of nations. First, the awakening of national life and national movements, the creation of independent national states. And second, the development of all sorts of relations between nations on the basis of the process of internationalization, the breaking of national borders, the strengthening of mutual cooperation, integration processes. These two trends are a source of development of socio-ethnic processes. It is not enough to theoretically recognize their existence, it is necessary to remove all the obstacles to their action. The national question can act as a problem of socioeconomic development as well as culture, language, and even environmental protection. But the statement always contains a political aspect. Speaking as a matter of political democracy, every time it is revealed the inferiority of any side of the existing political system, again putting forward the problem of equality. The development and process of a nation can be the result of a certain policy, the implementation of which is a function of the national state organization. The question of the equality and inequality of nations cannot be confused. There cannot be absolute equality. Equality is determined by national politics. Being the most developed historical and cultural community of people, the nation continues to develop culturally, separate, and internationalize. There are two mutually overlapping trends in the development of national relations: the tendency of economic integration and internationalization of all aspects of human life, and the tendency to national self determination, self expression, self government. These trends are often in a state of acute conflict situations, contradictions that are caused by objective and subjective factors, and causes that have roots in the economic, social, political, and especially spiritual fields. In the consciousness, culture, psychology of an individual nation lies the main source and cause of all possible and real contradictions in modern life. In acute situations, each nation is obliged to look for the root of an insoluble problem in itself, and then in the relationship of the objectivity of the dispute, conflict with other nations. Life practice shows that the awakening of national life, national sovereignty, quite often contradicts the trend of internationalization itself, mutual enrichment of relations of cooperation and unity, which leads to permanent national conflicts. National state formations build their policies on traditional political expediency and not on strict consideration of the interests of people. As a result of many reasons of an objective and subjective nature, interethnic relations in the post communist space of public life sharply worsened, for example, and economic underdevelopment, social frailty, and uncertainty, political disorder, and spiritual and mental tradition coupled with one-sided autonomous understanding of their national consciousness and self-awareness, lead to separatism and conflict situations which cannot be overcome overnight. The national problem has become a leading one in post-socialist countries, and there's still no effective national policy and democratic solutions to it. And I must point out that it's not only something that we view in post-socialist countries. We also view it in Spain with Catalonia. We saw it on many occasions, and it's been an ongoing trend with precedents, and there has to be something as a compromise that we could do democratically, and most of all with a diplomatic standpoint, because times are changing, and the territories find post the Second World War, yes, they do want to continue existing as they are, but not only does people's perception of what democracy is today change to from democracy as a pure form of it to liberal democracy, but also the needs of these people to define their own national belonging, their self-determination, and after all, territorial integrity based on what? Territorial integrity based on historical ties can very easily be redefined in today's age, since one can always claim, this is my land, it has been so for thousands of years. I don't want to be Latin American, I don't want to be Venezuelan, I want to be Mayan, Aztec, Inca. There's a lot of factors that people can historically point to and claim that they would like to redefine their national territory, because of which, um, same with the Balkans. Bulgaria used to be on three seas territorially. Same with Greece, the Hellenic Empire, the Byzantine Empire, the Ottoman Empire. There is a lot of rationale behind territorial changes that are based on historical evidence. Also, there is even more rationale on territorial changes based on current self identification, such as what the Catalonians tried to do, what happened with Crimea and Sevastopol. For the past 20 years, they've been identifying with being a part of Russia, and with the opportunity that they received, they took the opportunity. There was a referendum. There had been 20 years prior an attempt to return to Russia, and so many other things like that. Kosovo, for example, Kosovo wanted to not only become an independent state, but it wanted to join Albania because the population that was living in Kosovo was mainly Albanian. Hence, new age, new factors to consider. And shall we so strongly clench these rules and these territories that were defined so far away in time already? Or should we cater to people's needs and respect their human rights, their self determination, their need to define their identity, their need to safeguard their traditions, their culture, and so on and so forth, their right to free choice? Once again, thank you so much for joining in and have a great day. This was Avi from Politics with Avi.